I was able to see him go over just a 5-day period, just quickly downhill. And it's just one of those things that's a little eye-opening as you get to the end of our lives, or as we all age a little bit, that the way we handle this stuff is going to be different, right? So if you don't get it taken care of when you're younger, it could really be hard to manage, especially if you're an elderly person that has things beyond your control, like dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever it is, plus baggage, right?
Right.
Oh man,
Right.
which is another reason to try to get yourself as healthy as possible as you work through your life. So you can not be idolizing your challenges, but instead be balanced and hopefully following to the best of your ability, God and the things he would like to lay out for you, and helping people out and letting them know your story so they can best learn from your journey and not have to have their own craziness happen, because
Right.
they can be like, oh man, Athena talked about this and I'm not going to do that. This guy sounds like a freaking wolf, man. I'm going to be
Yep.
careful with this guy. So coming through all that after your mom passes, last 10, 15 years, did you find yourself eventually getting called back into the space where you're going to work on fixing things to make things better? Did you just focus on Athena? Did you get pulled back into, I mean, you said, are you in the ministry now or something along those lines? Is that?
Well, Redemption Press is a publishing company. It is a for-profit company, but we treat it like a ministry.
Okay.
It's a ministry slash business. But that was an amazing story because, you know, everything that they made me sign when I signed the business away was like a, non-disclosure, non-compete. Like I couldn't stand next to a book in a store and, without being in violation of the non-compete. I mean, it was crazy what they forced me to do for that $10 that I got. And so it took about 4 years for them to basically suck every dollar out of that company that they could. And that's
Right.
what they did. They completely ruined the reputation. They just, it was sad.
Mm.
And I was kind of on the outside for most of that. So a lot of me getting out and 2012 reconnecting with some of those authors who had experienced that loss of me in leadership and what happened with the new leaders. And so it was a lot of time of me just doing whatever I could do to encourage these authors who had really now they had their own trauma from
Yeah.
wine press being hijacked. And so it was about 4 years in. I was like, at this time, I was gotten a radio show. I'd been offered a radio show in San Antonio. I thought this was my new life. I was going to live in Texas and I was going to have my radio show that was every Saturday. And it was amazing. And then all of a sudden, right after January 1st, 2014, I get a text from my former landlord saying, hey, these guys are out of business. I just had to put a lock on the door. And would you be willing to come back and help these authors back? They don't have a publisher anymore. Would you be willing to